Well, just want to welcome everyone to another senior showcase. Honored to have George Concialdi with us today. How are you, George?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Glad you're here. And always honored to have another great senior from Prairie Ridge. And if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit, George, about what you've been up to the last 4 years at Prairie Ridge and where you've been involved.
So the last 4 years at Prairie Ridge, my freshman and sophomore year, I played football and basketball. And then my junior year, I decided not to play basketball. I wanted to try out wrestling, and I had still played football, obviously. And then my senior year, I just wanted to stick to football and then get a job. So that's what I did my senior year.
Okay, great. Now, how'd you enjoy wrestling? Tell us about that, because you kind of brought that up. You did that for junior year. That's a tough time to just jump in.
Yeah, I joined because I had a lot of friends in the sport and they were kind of pushing me. So I was like, whatever, I'm not doing anything. So I decided to try it out. And I actually had a lot of fun. It was a good time. Hard, definitely, but it was fun.
Well, good. Well, and I could see you've got a certain logo there over your shoulder. Do you care to share about what that means and how that's going to affect your future here?
Yeah, so that's the United States Marine Corps logo. And I'm actually leaving June 15th for boot camp. And my brother is also a Marine. So, yeah,
Oh, well, that's awesome. Outstanding. Congratulations.
thanks.
And I will tell you, I mean, that is a huge sacrifice, and respect you so much for kind of doing that and joining the Corps. And tell me about your thought process and kind of what went into that.
Um, I really didn't know what I wanted to do after high school, and I don't really love school that much. Like, I don't enjoy going to class and this and that stuff. So I didn't really want to go to college. So I thought that the Marine Corps would be a great option because I'll be able to travel, experience some stuff that most nobody experiences, and I kind of wanted to really push myself and see what I'm capable of.
That's awesome. So, did you already kind of decide upon doing that before your brother did? And before we go any further, why don't you explain who's in your family and introduce them, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so as of now, we got my mom, Christine, my dad, Anthony, and then I have one brother, Sam, and then one sister, Paulina, and now we have four dogs at the house. We got
What?
Isaac, Nash, Hallis, and Scruffy. Two of them are my sisters, though, so when she goes to college, she'll take them, but it's kind of crazy right now with all four of them here.
Wow. And then how old are all? What kind of dogs are they all?
They're all rescue dogs, so they're all mutts. Isaac is 7 or 8, and then Scruff, he's like 5, and then Nash is 2, and then we actually, my sister just got Hallis like 2 days ago, and he's like 4 months old. He's a young pup.
There we go. Yeah, no, you're the picture's perfect now. So, all right, so we got George back with a great picture now off his iPhone, so that'll work better. So, he just told us about how he's got a bigger family of dogs now than he does people in the house. But back to your Marine Corps and wanting to go that way. Tell me about the process. I know you said you want to do that. You're not too thrilled about school, and you want the ability to kind of be pushed and discover new things. When did you start talking to them? Walk us through, for people that might be considering serving in the military, how that went for you.
So I actually, my brother, he enlisted before I did, but as a kid, I kind of had I kind of always wanted to join some type of military branch. I didn't know what branch. But then when he joined the Marines, I was like, well, if he's doing it, like, I can do it. So I started talking to his recruiter about this time of last year, April, May-ish of last year. And then I enlisted into the delayed entry program, which I'll get into, June 20th of last year.
And what the delayed entry program is, so I signed up for 4 years of active duty, and then there's 4 years of reserves. But since I'm in the delayed entry program, I'm technically doing 1 year of my reserves now, if that makes sense. So I'm going to have
Sure.
4 years of active duty and then 3 years of the reserves.
For now, for all you know, you may want to make a career out of it as well, right?
Yeah. And that was another thing is I'm just going to do my 4 years, and however I feel about it then, if I love it, then obviously I'm going to stay in and try to make a whole 20-year career out of it. But if I don't, then I plan on going to college with it paid for, obviously, which would be nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, think about that. So you're 18, right?
Yeah.
And you'll be in 20 years, you'll earn enough to earn a pension,
Full
right?
pension, yeah.
And then you'll be 38 years old. I
Yeah.
mean, and
So,
have an opportunity for a full career already. Really, that's an outstanding deal.
yeah, if I did stay in the full 20 years, I would plan on getting another government job, whether it's being a police officer or FBI or something like that. And then I would plan on working there for another 20 years. So then I would get 2 full pensions and be completely retired at 58.
Wow, that's outstanding. Way to think that through. Now, do you already? How does it work with the Marine Corps regarding special? So, for instance, like Sam went through boot camp, right? How long's
Yeah.
boot camp for the Marine Corps?
It is 13 weeks normally, but right now it's 15 weeks because when you get there, you have 2 weeks of quarantine. So
Oh, so are you just doing like PT over those 2 weeks, or what are you doing?
I'm not really sure because they're also not sending people home as of now. So I
Okay,
haven't really got to talk to anyone because it wasn't like that when Sam went. So
sure.
I'm not really sure what you're doing for those 2 weeks. All I've heard is you got a roommate and you're pretty much in your room for 2 weeks.
Okay, so Sam went through, it was 12 weeks, and Sam was West Coast Navy.
He
The
was in MCRD, which is in San Diego.
Okay, so he went through there. Then after boot camp, what was next? What did Sam do after that?
So when you join the Marine Corps, after boot camp, you are required to do some sort of infantry training,
Yep.
whether your job is infantry or not. So his job was infantry. So he came home for 10 days, and then he went back there for 2 months for infantry training. And that's in Camp Pendleton, which is also in San Diego.
Okay. So is he in the middle of that right now?
No, he actually finished that, and he is in his unit now. So he's in his unit, and he leaves for deployment in like September, November-ish.
Does he know where he might be deployed to yet?
Yes, he does, but he
He
doesn't
can't
really want
say.
me. Yeah.
Okay. Understood.
I
So
can tell you he's going to the Middle East.
sure. I could imagine.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? I mean, what's driving you inside to give of yourself and realize that, hey, this gets real? I mean, I might be overseas, fighting bad guys and serving my country. Well, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I think it's really cool, to be honest. And like, I think we have the best military, so that helps me like confidence wise. But I think it's really cool, and it's definitely something that I would like to do.
That's awesome. Now, have you thought of you're going to do infantry? After infantry, are there certain specialties or such that you want to get into, or have you already talked about with your recruiter?
Um, I'm not really sure. Eventually, I would like to go special forces because that is like the coolest stuff ever. So I'm not really sure as of now, but I would like to go into special forces.
Okay, great. So who is and as a Marine, you could even try the SEALs
Yeah.
if that's something that you really want to go for.
Yeah.
Um, who's your recruiter here locally? Was this out of the Crystal Lake office?
Yeah. So my recruiter is Staff Sergeant Carbajal. He's at school a bunch. And at first it was Sergeant Hill, but he left and he went back to his unit in California. So Staff Sergeant Carbajal took over for him. But they don't really use the Crystal Lake office anymore because that's like Army, Navy, Air Force, like all the branches. There's actually a separate office here in McHenry, and it's just a Marine office, so that's usually where I go.
Okay. Now, with you being technically with enlisting early and getting a year credit for it, at this point, are you obligated to go do PT on weekends, to go do certain things? Is that already considered a regulation cut, or, explain
Yeah.
that?
So once a week, you have a PT on Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 4:30, we have a PT with everyone. Obviously, right now, we're not doing it. We're doing it on Zoom, like I was saying. But and then one weekend or one Saturday a month, you have it's called a poolie function. And it's it's all the poolies from Carpentersville, from Chicago, from everywhere in the state pretty much. And we get together and we do a huge one. And then the higher chain of commands there. So it's a real serious deal. Yeah.
Okay, great. So it sounds like, wait, how many days away? 15th you said you're out, or the 20th?
Yeah, the 15th. So a month and I think it's, is it the 11th?
Yeah.
Month and 4 days.
Yeah. So are you going East Coast or West Coast?
I'll be in San Diego. So I'll be there for 5 months pretty much. And then hopefully I can get some leave. But as of now, I'll be over there.
In the heat. You'll be there in the heart of the heat.
I mean, it's going to be nice. I'd rather be on the West Coast than the East Coast because in the summer on the East Coast, it's swampy and gross. I don't want to deal with that. Buggy. No thanks.
Got it. Now, looking back on your senior year, what are some of the great memories you look back on and go, man, I love that?
Obviously beating Carrie the first time and just our whole football season in general, spending all the time I could with my best friends and just having the best time we could. Making it to the state game was obviously incredible. And then just really having fun with my friends and hanging out with them is my ultimate highlight of my senior year.
Oh, that's awesome. So I guess kind of with what you're going to be going through with the Marine Corps, with going through boot camp and your unit, you kind of did that with the football team, right? So tell me, what do those brothers mean to you and the guys that you played football with?
I mean, those guys, they mean everything to me. I would do anything for those guys, and I know they'd do the same for me. So, I wouldn't trade that friendship for anything in the world.
Now, is there any now you say that I know that you guys are big video gamers and such. So what's been the video game of choice lately?
Me and all my friends, we've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's really fun.
Of course you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead of asking who's good, who just really needs to, turn in their video game console? They're just bad.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. We're all pretty good at this game. There's some games where there's some kids that aren't the best, but at this game we're all pretty good.
Yeah, because I know there's been a lot of chirping over the year going on between the offensive guys and the defensive guys when it came to Y2K.
If it comes to 2K, the offense, we're taking that all day.
Well, I know that you guys might have to settle that somehow again because you got Fry Cook and King Colby claiming otherwise, but
those two might be the worst at 2K. So, hey, and also you got to remember, I played both sides of the ball, so I'm a middleman.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to get on anyone's bad side.
No, but if we're talking about 2K, Prairie and Koblinger, they can't be opening their mouth.
All right. So when you talk about playing both sides of the ball, what did you really like doing the most? I mean,
like offense or defense?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I didn't really have a preference. I just loved that I was able to play both ways because that was something I always wanted to do, just be on the field as most that I can. So when the coach just told me, hey, you're going both ways, I'm like, awesome, let's get it. So I don't know if I had a favorite. If it was last year, I would have definitely said defense. But since this year I was at tight end, I got a little more room to do stuff. So I couldn't give you an answer for that one. I loved playing both ways.
Now, I know you gave some great team memories, the state game, beating Carey. When you look back personally on a game that you just personally had a lot of fun and you could be, forget the humbleness. What game did you just really enjoy because of something you did or something that you enjoyed on the field?
I would either have to say there's a couple games that would come to mind. I'd either say Deerfield, South, or the first Carey game because, I just feel like I played really well in those games. And also the outcomes of those games were, pretty one-sided. So I'd say one of those three games because those were probably my three best games. And, yeah.
Now, you were known, hearing the sideline, you would be intense out there. And sometimes I would notice that the opposing team would sometimes be annoyed with you. I mean, is it that you played to the whistle? What would it be that would kind of bring out that emotion?
Well, can you ask that again? I'm sorry.
You seem to get under the skin of your opponents. And what is it about your game that would bring out that intensity? I
think it was kind of that what you said is just I would play through the whistle, so the echo of the whistle, and and a lot of people would get mad at me, but if I'm blocking, I can't see where the runner is. So I don't know if he's down. And if I don't hear the whistle, I'm going to keep going. And I like to talk a little bit. So that plays into it too. But
so you're actually a trash talker? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't want to throw myself away here, but yeah, I like to talk a little bit.
Well, we know you better get it out of your system now because you won't be able to do any of that when you're at boot camp. So
definitely not.
So South, Carey, Deerfield, huge games for you. If you look back over your 4 years at Prairie Ridge, who are those special either coaches or faculty or people that really left a lasting impact on you?
I would say Coach O'Neill, Coach Margiata, and then really our whole coaching staff. They're all great guys, and they're all showing up every day, giving us their best effort, which we do in return. So I would just say all the coaches were all great guys and really helped me out through my 4 years.
Why did you single out initially Coach O'Neill and Coach Margiata?
I'd add Eddie Smith in there too, just because I would say they're younger, so they really understand high schoolers more, whereas some of the other coaches, they haven't been in high school for 25, 30 years, so it's a little bit different nowadays. So I felt like I connected with them more because they were younger, if that makes sense.
And they were kind of your position coaches too, right? On the offense.
Yeah, Marge and O'Neill, they were my position coaches this year. And then on defensive side of the ball is Coach Dunker. And then I also worked with the linemen a lot because some days I would be catching passes and stuff. The other days I'd be blocking. So Eddie Smith, he really pushed me, and he was also my wrestling coach. And he would always push me and make me do the best that I could.
Awesome. Now, if you look back at your time amongst your teammates, who really just cracked you up, that just made practice so much fun when you interacted with them?
I'd have to say either Nygren or Riley, because those guys, they're just goofballs. So they could always make me crack a smile, or Matron, just goofy guys that I enjoy being around. They always make me laugh. So
any particular memory specifically with involving any of them?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Now, you guys are infamous for your post-game celebrations in the locker room. Uh, any way to give a glimpse into what that looked like? What would you guys do? What would be, because you'd hear about all the fun guys would have after the game.
Yeah, so you know the missile we'd carry out?
Yep.
So everyone would get in the locker room except one person holding the missile. It would switch. It wouldn't be who carried it out. It would just whoever really wanted to do it that time. And so when they were about to run in, everyone would be like, shh, like quiet down. And then he'd run in and just scream football at the top of his lungs. And then like we'd just start going crazy, smacking the lockers, just jumping around. Then Blake would start playing music, and we'd all just start dancing, having a good time.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a memory you're really going to miss.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. So, you talked about the coaches that were important. Who in the classroom really kind of connected with you that you felt was impactful in your time there?
For football or just in general?
No, just in general, a faculty member, not necessarily on the coaching side.
I would have to say probably Miss Body, just because she's such a loving lady and she's so nice and she understands. Like there'd be some days where I was like, hey, listen, like I don't really feel good. I don't want to do this. And she'd just be like, okay, like that's fine. Like just get it done by tomorrow. And I was like, thank you. She's really understanding.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm sure she'll appreciate hearing that as well. So, especially since it sounded like you weren't necessarily cut out for school at times, right? Which is part of the reason you're heading to the Corps now.
Yeah.
But so it seemed like she recognized kind of where you were at any given time. So that's a cool trait. Well, and you survived, so you didn't get.
Yeah.
It's like you still made it and did well.
Got my cap and gown right here. I'm ready.
Yeah, how'd that? So, what is that? I mean, talk about, because here for 4 years you've been waiting for this last month or two, right? I mean, it's you kind of think about that. So, how's that impacted you, and what have you learned about yourself during this time being quarantined?
To be honest, like as you can imagine, like I hate this time. It sucks. Like these are supposed to be my 2 best months of my whole life, and they're just kind of being taken away. But I don't really know. It's hard. It's definitely hard, especially because like I'm leaving here in a month. So like I'm gonna miss graduation. There's gonna be no grad parties. So like it's really hard, but I try to see my friends and just make the best of the time I have.
Okay, awesome. Now, are you staying connected also? Snapchat, video calls, I know you guys will see each other around as well.
We've been hanging out, not gonna lie. We've been hanging out because like we all know that like in a couple months here, we're not gonna be here. We're not gonna be together. So like some of us aren't really letting this hold us back, if that makes sense.
Sure. No, I get it. And I can't imagine being in your shoes. So, especially as you're looking over your shoulder and you got that Marine crest, and knowing what's in store for you. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't know, are there any other local guys that are going to be in the same group with you?
Yeah. Like going into the Marines or like
going to the
leaving with me?
Going to Marines.
Nick Hess is joining, or he already enlisted, and then also Nathan Melchard, if you know who that is, he enlisted as well. And then Hunter Wozni he's trying to join.
So he's in process right now.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to be at boot camp with either of those guys? Are you going to be at boot camp with any of them?
No, I will not. I leave with 2 kids from here. I think they're from McHenry and Woodstock. But they leave, I think they both leave in like September or August. Like they're farther down.
Okay. Now, when you you're excited of the unknown, right? What are you gonna miss from back home if everything was normal? What are the things you're really gonna miss right now?
The things I'm definitely going to miss the most when I leave is definitely going to be my family and my friends, because like I love them and like they're a huge part of my life. So like family and friends, I'm going to miss the like absolute most for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, terrific. And how's mom feeling with having two people in the Marine Corps now?
My dad, I'll just say my dad first. My dad is for it. He likes it. He thinks it's good for both of us. My mom, on the other hand, when Sam first said he was going to go, she was like, "You guys are not going. Like, you're not doing this." And then like when he left, I think she like understands, but at the same time, she doesn't like it because she doesn't like us being so far away and really not knowing what's going to happen.
Sure, sure. But I also know your mom also took a lot of pride in the military appreciation game. Why don't you share with us what you got to do in that game and what that meant to you?
Yeah, so I got to carry out the American flag, and I actually didn't know I was going to do that until like right before the game. Our coach was like, "Hey, I want you to carry this out." It was Coach Trump. He's like, "Hey, I want you to carry this out." And I was like, "Thank you. Like that means so much." And it was honestly probably one of my favorite memories of the whole football season, because it was just such a cool moment, especially seeing all those military people there watching, and it felt really cool to be able to do something like that.
Remove your caps and place your head mirror. One more time, stay on your feet, cheer the rest of victory win, go, you get back!
One, two, three. Let's go, boys. Let's go, baby. It's time. Let's go, baby. It's time.
Extra points and field goals. Boardman.
Yeah, I can imagine that it takes on a whole new meaning getting to carry the flag, knowing that you're gonna be out there for us, potentially laying down your life to give us some of the freedoms we've got. So appreciative of you doing that, man. I mean,
Thank you.
That takes a lot, and got the utmost respect for you in
Thank
doing
you.
that. So thank you, and obviously thankful for Sam and all your classmates for doing it. I mean, there's a long line of PR athletes and students that are out there serving the country in different capacities, from Coast Guard to Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy, and everything in between. So
Yep.
very cool. And have you talked to any other Prairie Ridge people or people you know that either served or currently are serving? Have you reached out to get an idea? Or
Yeah, I've talked to Cam Smith, Riley's brother, because
yeah,
he's also in the Marine Corps. And me and Sam really would ask him a ton of questions, because he was like me and he left right after high school, where Sam took a year off. He didn't take a year off. He went to college and then realized he wanted to do something else. So Cam Smith, I would say I've asked him a ton of questions, and he's been great answering anything I ask. But as far as the other guys, I don't really talk to him about it because the different branches are so much different. So I just want to know what I'm getting myself into, if that makes sense.
Any cool takeaways from Cam? I know here now Cam's a new dad and everything. I mean, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah, pretty much just whatever you're gonna do, like give it your all and never quit. Just never quit.
Do you already have an idea of what kind of PT is going to be like and what boot camp's going to be like?
Yeah, I have a really, really good idea because obviously my brother went through it and he tells me absolutely everything that he can. And also the Wednesday PTs, like I was telling you about, they would always tell me, and my brother told me, and the recruiters, they always say, like, we're going to push you a lot harder here because, like, when you get there, then you're going to be ready. So, yeah, I have a pretty good idea of what the PT is going to be like.
Do you feel you're physically ready?
Yeah, I do. So I've actually been working on my physical performance test a lot recently, and I'm ready. Yeah.
What goes into the physical performance test?
So it's max pull-ups and then max like crunches, sit-ups. They're kind of weird in 2 minutes. And then for the initial, it is a 1.5 mile run, but for the actual test, it's a 3 mile run.
Okay. And what's the goal for the 3 mile run? What's the minimum?
The minimum is like 29 or something minutes, something like that. I'm not really sure.
You'll smoke that. No worries.
Or
there.
that's the maximum, I mean.
Yeah. No,
that's the worst you can get, you know.
Yeah. No, you'll get through that.
Yeah.
So you're doing like a 940 mile or something like that. So
yeah, I just did a 1.5 miles the other day and I ran an 11-minute 1.5 miles, which is pretty good for me.
Yeah. So a lot harder workout than even what you were doing during 2-a-days at football, right?
Yes and no. It's just a lot different because in football, like it would always be like weights, pushing the weights. And like now it's the complete opposite where I'm just trying to get as many push-ups and pull-ups that I can.
Are you preparing yourself for the mental aspect of it?
Yes, because from what I've been told by everyone is that the mental is going to be a lot harder than the physical. So I've started learning all my general orders and all the rank structure because my brother said if you know that before you go in, it's going to really like set you apart from the rest of the guys. So I've been doing that. But as far as like the screaming and all that, there's nothing you can really do about that until you get there.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to bug you. So
no, I think I'll be all right.
Now, what would you have to say to your mom and dad, you know, if they see this and kind of, I don't know, what would you want to say to them as you're getting ready to go away to boot camp?
I would just want to say that I thank them for everything they have done for me, my brother, and my sister. They've been the best parents a kid can ever ask for, and that I really love them a lot.
No, that definitely means a lot to them. So,
yeah.
Well, from on the back to the quarantine side, what's been the go-to for the Concialdi family? Have there been any kind of fun things that you guys have started doing as a family?
Yeah, we've actually been playing a lot of games, just like card games, board games, whatever, because, I mean, there's not much else we can do. We're playing with the dogs a lot, making sure they're getting their walks in and everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd just say a lot of family game nights.
Any favorites?
Yeah, we just started playing this new game called Codenames. It's a really fun one. And then also Monopoly Deal and Uno Flip. Those are some great games. A lot of fun.
Not too many family battles during those?
No, because it's just me and my sister and then my parents. So I'm probably the only really competitive one. So it's all right.
All right. Now, how about on the binge watching side? Any binge watching shows?
Yeah, I watched Outer Banks. That show was really good. And then I watched Money Heist. That was also really good. And then now I'm not really watching anything.
Have you been I'm just curious, before you go in, are you like watching a lot of military stuff, units, show? I mean, there's tons of that on Netflix as well.
Yeah, I've already watched almost everything I can. I watched all the boot camp videos, all the infantry training videos. And then other than that, I like watching some like Navy SEAL stuff like that. And I got a book by David Goggins, who's this like, I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I do.
yeah. And I've been reading that a lot.
Yeah, good leadership stuff too. So
yeah, that guy's crazy.
Yeah, awesome. And go to restaurants for takeout.
Definitely. Sunday was Mother's Day, Kyoto. Like, that's my favorite restaurant. But if I'm just getting something quick, I'd probably say Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
Yeah.
What's the go-to at Taco Bell?
See, Taco Bell, their food's not like the best, but I just love the Baja Blast. So like, I usually go to get a Baja Blast, and then I end up probably getting like a quesadilla.
Okay, got it. Once a wolf, always a wolf. I mean, that you hear that. And now as you're coming up on officially becoming an alumni, what's that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, I've always loved Prairie Ridge. I couldn't imagine going anywhere else. It's a great school, great kids, great teachers, just all around love for that school.
Awesome. Well, again, just want to thank you for taking the time. Especially want to thank you for what you're about to embark on and serving our country. And
thank you.
Knowing your willpower and just seeing kind of you leaving it all on the football field, I know that you are going to succeed at it, and just look forward to hearing about how that goes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Miko. Appreciate it.
Everybody just clap your hands. Clap your hands, everybody just clap your hands.
And I did forget, now there's got to be a food that you're going to be going, man, I can't wait. Like Sam, when he came back, where's the first place Sam ran to get food?
The first place he wanted to get food was actually McDonald's.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that will not be me. I'm going to go get some nice, maybe some Texas Roadhouse or some nice big steak or something like that.
Or maybe a deep dish or something like that.
Maybe a deep dish pizza, yeah.
Yeah, because
something like that.
You're not gonna have a good deep dish out in California.
No, definitely not. But definitely not going to McDonald's either.
Well, awesome. So you're gonna go away in June, and graduation is gonna be set for
September 18th as of now. See, I was supposed to leave June 22nd, but like I said, it's 13 weeks normally, but it's 15 weeks now because of the quarantine. Yeah. So my date I graduate was actually supposed to be September 11th, which
would have been cool.
That would have been cool. Yeah, it would have been a good time to join. But now that I'm moved up a week, because I was supposed to leave June 22nd, so now I'm leaving June 15th, but there's 2 weeks quarantine. So I'm predicting my date should be September 18th.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to talk to Sam about deployment? Is he ready? Is he nervous about it?
Yeah, he's 100% ready. He is not he's not worried about it at all. But it is going to be a combat deployment.
Oh, sure.
So
sure.
His senior guys pretty much said, like, hey, get ready because we're going, and there's nothing you can change about it.
Yeah, you're going to be in the middle of it. Yeah.
So, yeah, but he's ready, and he's actually excited.
Well, sure, because you guys trained for it, and you want to get out. And I generally, and I wanted to make sure that I talked to you, because what you're doing is amazing. And I will, because I think there's no nobler thing that would do. And to be honest, and I'm a total freedom and liberty guy, and I hate the government telling you things to do, but I think if every single American was required to serve, they would have a totally different perspective of the military. They'd have a totally different perspective of what freedom and liberty mean. And you're out there living it and doing it, and I want to commend you.
I would agree with that 100% because, like, if everyone could serve, like, if everyone had to serve, you wouldn't have to serve 4 years. You could serve 2 years and be done and then go to college. And, like you said, I think that would really make people appreciate things a lot more and have a better outlook on life.
Yeah, it definitely would. And but you're doing it.